Things that the president may have had to consider, Kathy, and including the use of alcohol, the trading of alcohol, and as well as to ensure that the borderline traveling between the inter-provincial traveling, that of course that he had needed to consider upon. But most importantly, how does he ensure that while he keeps livelihoods abreast and as well as the issue around the economy floating, that must have been a thorny issue in that particular Presidential Coordinating Council and as well as the National Command Council on the coronavirus. And expectations are coming through from various associations, including the National Liquor Traders, and like Ntimane is the chairperson there. Perhaps maybe like as we begin here, the first thing that I really want to understand is you are expecting that the president would keep things as they are, and that would be very much welcomed by you. But if he says something contrary to your expectations?
We believe that there is no room for the president not to follow the status quo and leave things as they are, because as the alcohol industry, certainly we have played our part in making sure that, we support government's efforts in fighting against COVID-19. If you look at September till about 2 weeks ago, the number of COVID-19 cases in the country were not rising, even though alcohol was fully available. So there is really no link between alcohol and the rising number of cases that we are seeing now. So we feel that if the president was to make a decision that restricts us or even ban us, it will not have any basis in science and certainly not in common sense.
No basis in science and certainly not in common sense, as you say. But just talk us through what perhaps you would be doing now as the National Liquor Traders. You know the rising number of COVID-19, and certainly gatherings is part of the reasons why these numbers are spiking up. People are saying, including the National Coronavirus Command Council, at many on occasions said that social places where there's alcohol involved bring about the numbers to rise. Your response to that and what do you think you can do to try and ensure that that eases?
I think we've done our part as the alcohol industry. We've run tavern compliance programs across the country where we encourage liquor traders to comply with all the relevant COVID-19 protocols. But also we've encouraged our patrons as well as our liquor traders and their families to vaccinate. And we acknowledge the work that was done in this space by SAB and Distel, who funded the vaccination drive for all liquor traders across the country. So we have done our part, and we'll have seen the results in the past 4 months in the way that we manage the COVID-19 cases. Certainly there hasn't been any report that our spaces have been super spreader activities. So really there is no reason whatsoever for the president to even consider touching alcohol. If anything, we need to be commended for the good work that we have done to ensure that we are able to maintain the COVID-19 cases in the country.
And now, as we round up, perhaps expectations from what the president is going to be saying tonight to South Africans and including stakeholders such as yours?
Look, we still continue to bemoan the fact that we are not consulted. Decisions are going to be taken tonight for us, without us. And we like to appeal to the president, to really change his mind, change his tune on how he continues to treat the alcohol industry with disdain. We really would like him to sit with us so that we can find sustainable ways in which we can bring certainty to the industry. The fact that when we have to deal with waves, we have to be worried that we're going to be banned is not right. We cannot plan our lives because we do not know what's going to happen. But if there was to be consultation, certainly we'll know what is going to happen. But as it is now, your guess is my guess as to what is going to happen come 8 o'clock tonight.
Like Ntimane, the National Liquor Traders, the expectation is that things will remain, or should I say, things should remain the same as they are at this current moment. There should be no ban on the use of alcohol, and particularly the trading of alcohol. Like Ntimane feels that enough has been done to really hurt that particular industry, and the president should as well on future endeavor to try and engage and as well as talk to them as the industry to try and find lasting measures on the economy. But of course, we are expecting that the president would be at around 8 o'clock talking some more about what the nation's response to the COVID-19 is. And at 7 o'clock, Kathy, I can just tell you that I'll be with Dr. Angelique Kotsia, who will be just bringing us as far as the doctors, the health perspective on expectations. And of course, perhaps even touch on that much talked about article that the BBC had broadcast, having on her being one of the first doctors to identify this variant here in South Africa, and how she feels it will be impacting South Africans come this festive season. Kathy?
Pelane Phakgadi, let's leave it there for tonight. You can expect more coverage from Pelane out at the union buildings, but also just more voices coming from business in terms of their own expectations of how government should be navigating the waters this time round as South Africa faces what could likely be the fourth wave of COVID-19.